I'm always on the lookout for new and interesting games that have a different aesthetic or style, or a particular gameplay niche that kind of makes you go, interesting. And Honked, a Clown Noir certainly has that. It's a mystery adventure game that is built with some 3D platforming mechanics into the mix. It's short, it's sweet, it's budget, £2.49, but it delivered way above my expectations in the just over an hour that it takes to complete the game. There's multiple endings, so it does give you some replayability there, but be aware that this is a short and sweet experience that you can do in one sitting. In this game you play as a hard-nosed, serious private investigator that gets honked at by a clown and then warped to Clownside, an alternative reality where everyone's a clown and the world is built out a little bit like a circus. The object of the game is to try and find a missing clown, and you do this by point-and-click adventuring style communication, where you walk up to various different characters and talk to them through choices of dialogue. You don't get loads and loads of different options, but just more options become available the more you chat to people, so that you can pick up clues to work out where on earth this clown has gone to. This normally leads you to then talking to certain characters and doing some 3D platforming, and that introduces you to the balloon mechanic, which is the kind of main crux of this game. Whenever you need to solve very arbitrary puzzles, so it's things like, I need a key to open the door, or I need a flower with petals that I can use as a rotating rudder so that I can fly across a gap. You'll be taken into the balloon screen, and it will present you like a diagram blueprint for you to then blow out a balloon and follow the blueprint around. And the closer you get to the actual original blueprint, it will give you a percentage score, and so long as you score about 70% or higher, the balloon will come to life when you've finished it. You can go free rein on this and make your own creations and then kind of drop them into the world and throw them about and just kind of use them in general. But some of them have some good 3D platforming extras. So there's you can get a wheel which turns into a unicycle that you can then run around on so that it makes your walking speed faster. I've mentioned the flower one earlier. So there's a couple in there that kind of make you do something different, but it's things like, I'll make a toy poodle, and then you can line up toy poodles together and then they'll just follow you around yapping when you're in the zoo area. It's just quite cute. And whilst I'd like to have seen it even explored deeper and further, it's a unique and nice mechanic that just reminds me of Etch-a-Sketch and takes me back to my youth. The puzzles are very get this to do that. The 3D platforming has different areas that some of them work better than others, and this is largely down to the camera. Now, this is a 3D platformer, but it's taking place in quite often almost sedentary camera positions, so you can't rotate it around to see what's the best angle to make some of your decisions. And this doesn't largely cause a problem, except for the area where you're doing the high wire. And this is where you're moving from platform to platform, traversing across high wires, being very dangerous and daring. But because you can't line up the camera, you can't often always tell whether you're going to actually step out onto a high wire or just step out into thin air and fall off the platform. And that was my only real gameplay niggle that I had with Honked, a Clown Noir, was this specific area. Outside of that, the game ran really smoothly. The fully voice-acted cast do an excellent job. It's got a crazy zany circus soundtrack, and the way how the writing for this game manages to stay silly and irrelevant or irreverent, but deals with mature themes at the same time, I thought was quite cool. So it's it's approaching big themes of depression, anxiety, debt and loans and loan sharks and all of that, but in a quirky, kiddie-friendly way. So it's able to get some good messaging subliminally in there without you really noticing. And that all comes together really, really well. The other thing that I would say that's a bit of an oddity here is there's no mid-game save. You have to complete the game in one sitting. And then at the end of the sitting, once you've completed one of the endings, because there's a couple of different endings that you can get, the game can then save. However, that has currently an issue which the developer has acknowledged and is working on a fix and expects it to be out within a week. So if you're watching this from the 10th of November 23 onwards, this won't be an issue to you. But currently, as of today, the saving in this game is a little bit wonky. So do like block out an hour, go through and have it done in one sitting. Don't do what I do and assume that it auto-saved and then wander off and then come back and be greeted with the opening credits of the game again. I was like, oh no. But I was more than happy to replay it again because I had such a good time, and I think that probably is testament to Honked Noir for being a decent game in the first place. Written review will be over on highplayinggames.com. This is a real niche, weird oddity, but at £2.49, if you enjoy light-hearted mysteries and maybe a honk back to retro early 2000s, late 90s 3D platforming at its easiest, perhaps Honked Noir will be very much up your street. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/Higher Plane Network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.